Super Mario Maker 2. I completely forgot this game was coming out, and then I went to the store, saw it sitting there. I was like, oh yeah, I should probably get this. It's $60, and you know, the first one was a ton of fun, and I was really trying to just wonder, is it worth 60 bucks? But it's on the Switch. And I think, yeah, you know what, it'll be a lot of fun. I'll waste a lot of time playing this game. And then, of course, with my genius not paying attention to game releases, I didn't realize that it had a story mode, and it does, and that's what we're going to be doing here. So there's kind of a cutscene that's going to be taking place at the very beginning, and I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the improvements I've noticed. So number one, you don't have to wait, like, 14 days or some whatever, however many days it was in the first one. You had to wait like 7 days to unlock all of the little tools that you could use to build courses. In this game, it just kind of unlocks all of it for you at once. I remember seeing an article about that, so that's not too surprising. And of course, the graphics do look better, although they did look pretty dang good on the Wii version too. And I think the first Mario Maker actually made it to the 3DS, so you can play it pretty much anywhere now. The only real downside that I think 2 has over the Wii version, the Wii U version, is that the Wii U had the gamepad with the stylus, and you can use the touchscreen on the Switch, I'm pretty sure you can anyway, to move around all the blocks on the Switch, but, you know, you don't get a stylus. It's not one of those pressure touchscreens. I think it's capacitive, so it kind of wouldn't be cost effective, I guess, to include a stylus with the Switch, and so I don't think I've played a single Switch game that uses the touchscreen anyway, and it also marks up your whole screen with fingerprints, so it's like, why would I do that? But I imagine if you get one of those styluses that people use on their phones, those like pen stylus combo things, then if you could probably use that on the Switch, and it'd make your level creation quite a bit easier. But the first thing the game has with the whatever this is called, the story mode, is Peach's castle gets destroyed by a dog. It just gets flat out erased there, which is pretty funny. And then we have to rebuild it. So there's going to be a percentage wheel in the top left corner of the screen every time we make progress on the castle. And this Toad, the Taskmaster, is going to have various levels for us to finish. So this was a ton of fun for me. I love doing this. Each level we finish, we're going to get a huge lump sum, that's the word. Okay, lump sum of coins. We're going to get a huge amount of coins from completing the mission, but we can't get that reward more than once. So once we finish the level, that's the only time we're going to get the 100 coins for this one, but we can replay a level as many times as we want. This is, of course, information that the Toad will tell you in a little bit. You'll probably see it on the screen even. I don't know if it's in this video, it might be in the next one. I'm going to try to do about 3 levels per video. There's a lot of levels, which is kind of nice for me, because that means, yay, a lot of videos. And on a game that isn't from 10 years ago. This game came out yesterday, so finally I get a somewhat modern game, and one that I'm actually going to really like playing. And then I might start doing, like when the first Mario Maker came out, for a little while, I think maybe about 2 months, not really that long, I was doing daily Mario Maker videos on top of my other videos that I was uploading, but that just got to be way too time consuming because I wanted to beat the level, and I was only showing like a couple of failed attempts and then of course my successful attempt, but that was taking up almost 2 hours of my day when I was recording those, and I wasn't able to really record a week's worth of videos like I normally do with this game. Mostly because I wanted to wait and refresh the level creation browser and see what other new levels come up. You know, I could do a whole bunch in one day, but then there'll be a more fun one the next day, so I wanted to kind of give it a little bit more of a chance that way. So anyway, point is, I quit doing those daily videos, and I doubt I'm going to do it with this one. I'll probably do, you know, kind of a random Mario Maker 2 video every now and then, because I do like this game a lot. It's a ton of friggin' fun, and they do get pretty evil with the levels. But like in the first one, to upload your level online, you have to be able to beat it yourself. And that means the vast majority of levels are going to be pretty dang beatable, because the vast majority of people are not those insane Mario players that you can go look up videos on. They're not speedrunners, you know, they're average players who just can't play the level as expertly as they might want to upload. So you might be able to create a level that is possible but is ridiculously hard, but you're not going to be able to upload it unless you can beat it yourself. So that does weed out a ton of those really just over the top impossible levels. Plus, I've noticed when you play this game online, you can download levels that other people have made, and if you are getting stuck on one, you can download it and kind of just look at the layout. It is kind of cheating, but oftentimes with really hard ones that have like a 1 out of 200 people completion, if you download and look up the level, you can see there's a secret block, and that block has a star in it, and that usually gets you past some really stupidly difficult part. And it just makes me laugh because you know that they made the block hidden and they put it in some out-of-the-way place that you were not likely to accidentally hit, and that's how the creator got through the level themselves, was by using the star, and then you can beat it that way. And yeah, you're now 2 out of 200 people who defeated it. There's a lot of new tools we get to use, so there's these blocks that I don't remember being in the first one. I haven't played the first one in a while, so some of the stuff may have come in later, or maybe it was in at the start, I don't know, but I don't remember these block switches in the first Mario Maker. There's also clamps we're going to be seeing, and the story mode is really good at introducing a ton of these new things that I haven't seen before anyway. And I don't know if these levels were made by Nintendo or other people. It says a name when you start up the level, and most of them look like they're made by another person, maybe outside of Nintendo. But there's one called the Game Master who comes up all the time, and that one I'm assuming is Nintendo. I'm not sure. I don't know how much of this game is really, these levels for the story mode was made by Nintendo themselves, but I'm pretty happy with this game. I really was wanting another Mario game. It's been a while since I've played one, you know. I think Mario Odyssey was the last one, and that was, had to have been almost 2 years ago now, a year and a half ago, and I loved Odyssey. Like, wait, was that Odyssey? Yeah, it was Odyssey. I loved Mario Odyssey, man. That game was so amazing, and I'm so excited for the next Breath of the Wild, whatever that's going to be called. I mean, geez, there's so many game companies that you can't really rely on, but Nintendo seems to be pretty reliable with their capability of making games that you at least can play and you're not going to be that disappointed with, even though sometimes they may not be perfect, you know. They're not like BioWare is what I'm trying to say here. So there's a couple of creative things that go on in the levels, like having to use this Koopa shell to hit the blocks back and forth, and the main purpose of this main story mode are collecting coins, and we can do a couple of these levels a little bit slower to get a decent stack of coins, usually 40, 50, maybe 90 on certain levels. I have yet to find one that I feel like I could run quickly over and over to get tons of coins. I would imagine that there's one later on, and I'm sure that if you look it up right now, you can probably already find which level that is. I mean, I'm sure people have already beat the living garbage out of this game. But where was I going with this? So a lot of the levels have 10 coins, like there's a big coin with a 10 on it that obviously gives you 10 coins. Sometimes it's 30, and these are just kind of bonus things you can collect. They require a little bit more effort, and in some levels I don't think they're worth going for whatsoever, but in a lot of these early ones, they're really not a big deal. So I consider myself a decent Mario player, so it takes me a while to start dying at these levels, and I'm also really, I know this is like, oh, it's the controls, right? It's a controller, but I'm really trying to get used to some of the controls, and I'm playing on the Switch. The Switch's controller is just so much tighter than the previous Nintendo controllers. Like, it's way tighter than the Wii one, way tighter than the Wii U, way tighter than the GameCube, and, you know, it's just, getting used to it's a little bit tricky for me at the start. So I actually think that I die in this level. I'm gonna leave this death in just this once, because you can really see that I am struggling hard with a ton of these controls right now. I should be able to climb up this wall. Like, I know that. I'm a cat. I should be able to climb up it, but I just couldn't get that to happen. So then I lose my cat suit, and then I end up dying in a minute or two here to something that I completely forgot, and I come back through and I do this area almost perfectly. So it is going to be a little bit cooler looking, but I'm not going to, for some reason I didn't grab that checkpoint either. But anyway, I'm not gonna make a huge effort to do these levels absolutely perfectly, but I'm gonna put forth a little bit of effort to collect as many coins as I can that are within reach. So those ones, if I can get them, and that 10 block down there is one that I tried to get, and that was obviously not the way you're supposed to do that. I'm not too certain how you're expected to get that one. Most of them are pretty easy, but hey, you get 5 chances in a level. Most of these levels have a 1-up somewhere, and most of them will also have a checkpoint, and that's really the big concern, is if you lose all your lives while you're at a checkpoint, right? It's not so much that you do a level with no checkpoint and you die 5 times, doesn't really matter. You go back to the beginning either way, but it's the longer ones that do have checkpoints. In some cases, 2 checkpoints. You know, you lose all 5 of your lives there and you're not getting any 1-ups. That could be a little bit worse. So here I am practicing on the Switch controls how to climb up as Cat Mario, and for some reason it was working perfectly now. I'm not doing anything different than I was before. So then I finally get up here. Finally climb up, it's like, yes, okay, that's what it's supposed to look like. And I'm gonna destroy some of these blocks and then make our way over here. And the strange thing about the 3D world style here, because there's obviously you get to play as the NES, the NES Mario Brothers 3, Mario Brothers 1, Super Mario World, then there's New Super Mario Brothers, and of course the 3D one that we're doing right now. This one, it seems like you have, especially as a cat suit, you have to like give yourself a second to kind of charge up your movement. You don't immediately start moving very quickly. So it's kind of like playing Crash Bandicoot all over again, the remake anyway, because in the remake for Crash Bandicoot, they made it to where you have to get a little bit of a charge up before Crash is at his full movement speed, and on the original, he was instantly at his full movement speed, and it definitely made the game a little bit tougher with the re-release, I think, anyway. But anyway, so that's kind of what the 3D world side-scroller part feels like, is that you just have to give yourself, maybe it's just in the cat suit, I don't know, you have to give yourself a little bit of a second just to kind of charge up your speed, and then that way you get going, and you can, you know, do pretty much anything once that happens. I still think the cat suit's probably one of the most overpowered suits Nintendo's ever added into a Mario game. And of course, if you manage to hit the top of the flagpoles, that is a bonus 10 coins, so make an effort to do that if you can. So our payment, as I said before, with each of these missions is one time only, and we get more gold, more coins for harder levels, and the levels go from 1 to 4 stars. I have yet to run into one that I couldn't beat after a couple of tries. Some of them are a little bit harder than others, but the difficulty rankings seem to be pretty okay, but I have struggled on some 2-star and soared through some 4-star levels, so I guess it just depends on what kind of person you are. So once we finally get our foundation built, we can start building the rest of Peach's castle here, and we get the West Hall, East Hall, and the main hall. They're going to cost 400 coins, but 600 for the middle one, and that's going to be the theme for the whole rebuilding, is that the main hall is going to cost the most, and then the sides are going to be cheaper. So that's going to be it for the end of this video. I'm going to have more Mario Maker 2 videos coming, and I'll see you then.